welcome to my Uncharted 4 review. A few things about this review. Numero uno, there will be absolutely no story spoilers within, so don't sweat it. I hate spoilers with a fiery passion. I know you do too. Numero dos, there will probably not be much, if any, gameplay footage at all in this review, just because I don't want to show you locations and I don't want to show you certain things that would be required if I were to show you some of the points I'm going to make. So just, I hope you enjoy listening to me gush, because that's what the fuck is going to happen. Also, I do not do multiplayer, sadly, so I will not be touching upon the multiplayer aspect in this review. And second, if you care to know, because some of you might want to know, I have played Uncharted 1, 2, 3 twice each, once when they first came out respectively, and then I just got through the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection like a week before I got my review copy from Sony for Uncharted 4. So, knowing all that, let's get into it. I don't even know where to start. I should probably save this for the end of my video, but fuck it, I don't care, I'm a volcano of emotions right now. Uncharted 4 is, hands down, the most polished, immersive, and gorgeous video game I've ever played. Ever, ever, ever! So now that you know that, you can click out of this video, or if you want to continue watching to find out why I think it's all of those things, go for it. I won't judge you either way. Let's start with the story. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, so don't worry. So my spoiler-free review of the story is that players have a lot to look forward to. You're going to learn a lot of new and exciting things about the characters that you've come to know and love. And I personally found the story very interesting, and I enjoyed the places it took me throughout the game. So there's that. Moving on. Let's talk about gameplay. I don't even know what kind of accent that was, if that even was an accent. Anyway, so one of my minor gripes with the Uncharted series thus far, excluding Uncharted 4, was that I felt like I had a very predictable formula. You know, like find an area, encounter a wave of enemies, defeat the enemies, more enemies incoming, defeat them, scale a wall, find the next area, more enemies, more waves of enemies, so on and so forth. And I had always kind of hoped that Uncharted 4 would steer away from that and tweak something just a little bit, because I personally believe that Uncharted shines with its characters and its story. With all that said, I am really happy to report that Uncharted 4 does just that. I think it focuses much more on the story of Uncharted, the interaction, the environment, the exploration, spending time with your allies, which, huge thumbs up for me. Granted, there are firefights, and the ones that you do encounter are pretty awesome and intense because of the environments that you're in, and you know, they're all destructible. Well, not all destructible, but a lot of the cover is destructible. Anyway, I'm veering off course. So, yes, you will still encounter firefights, duh, and you will still encounter a few situations where you will have a couple waves of enemies that are incoming, but it's really not a big deal, and in fact it feels natural when it happens, and it's not that repetitive formula that I feel like Uncharted 1 through 3 used a lot. And get this, friends, there will be occasions when you enter a location and there will be no enemies. It's just for you, it's just there for you to explore and discover and interact with. It's not there for you to have it like 10 firefights with, and that's super cool. So thank you. Huge thumbs up from me on that too. Ah. One last note regarding the enemies. They actually react now when you shoot them. I'm not sure if it was just me, but I felt like in Uncharted 1 through 3, when you shot an enemy, they didn't really react to being shot half of the time. And sometimes it took an entire clip just to bring someone down. But in Uncharted 4, they actually react to being shot. You can tell because they're like, that was a terrible impression. But not only do they react to being shot, but they also don't require half of a clip to be brought down. I mean, there are enemies that have extra armor that do require more bullets, obviously, but your typical Joe Schmo running around in like cloth doesn't require half a clip to be brought down. So yay! Stealth is now a major component in Uncharted 4. It was sort of, kind of, not really in the past games, but this time it's like really, not pushed, it's encouraged. That's the word I'm looking for. You will find tall grass littered all throughout Uncharted 4, and when Nate walks into the tall grass, he automatically ducks and he automatically blends in, and of course this allows you to perform stealth attacks with enemies, or kind of GTFO. If you're in a tight spot, you can try to hide from enemies in the tall grass and hopefully they'll lose you. So it really opens up the way that you can kill bitches. It's quite great. Did I already talk about this thing? I think I did. Did I already talk about, I don't know if I did or not. Did I? So this thing, friends, is an awareness indicator that enemies have that sits above their head when they think they see you, or when you make noise or something. It'll just start to fill up. and when it fills up, it'll turn yellow. When it turns yellow, they're going to investigate you. If they spot you, it turns orange, and then the firefight is on. So that's something that's really handy, especially to those like me who suck at stealth and need a little hand holding. It's appreciated. It's nice. Nate now has access to a rope, which feels supernatural, and it feels like it's been in Uncharted all along. So it's not like it's a new gameplay mechanic you have to get used to. You'll use it to traverse, explore, solve puzzles. It can help you kill people in combat. The rope is really nice, and it's fun because you can actually like rappel down from it. So if you're feeling like froggy, just tie your rope off to a stump and then jump down. I think it's fun because I'll never do that in real life because I don't have the balls to do it. Level design in Uncharted 4 has been vastly expanded, and it's fucking awesome. There is a lot to climb on, there is a lot to scale, there's a lot to look at, and it's cool because it's not like the older Uncharted games, which, by the way, let me just say, I really, really love, but Uncharted 4 is just so polished, and it's not like the older games where, you know, you would come to like a T in your path, right? And you would either go left or go right. If you go left, you find a treasure, then you know if you go right, you're finding the way to proceed through the game. Or if you go left and you know that's the way to proceed to the game, you can go right and find a treasure. So your options were kind of limited. But with Uncharted 4, it's just a huge fucking like arena of things to climb on, explore, scale, look at, gawk at. It's just awesome. And you know, you could very well spend like 30 seconds like exploring a certain part of the map expecting to find something, but there's nothing even there for you to find. It's just all a part of that immersion, and it feels like you're in a living, breathing like area, and it's great. It's so good. Finally, in terms of the things that have been tweaked or modified in Uncharted 4, I'm sure you've seen that players are now given the opportunity at certain points in the game to choose how Nate reacts to certain situations. Now, I wasn't sure how to feel about this at first because I like to think of Nathan Drake as a self-sufficient person who I have absolutely no control over, and that sounds really weird, but you guys know what I mean. Like, Nate doesn't need me to tell him how to react to a situation. You know, but all that said, it didn't feel... It felt okay. It didn't feel like wrong or off or any of that, and there honestly aren't that many times when players are even given the opportunity to make those decisions for Nate. I guess though, the way I can sum it up for how I feel about it is that if, let's say we knew that there were going to be 10 more Uncharted games and Nathan Drake was going to be in every single one of them, and Naughty Dog were to be like, hey, should we incorporate this feature into future Uncharted titles? I'd probably say no. It didn't do it. I don't know, like that sounded kind of harsh, but it's more like it's a cool thing, but it didn't do anything for me. It didn't really excite me. I don't know. Okay, with that stuff out of the way, I have to talk about the visuals and the details of Uncharted 4. And this, friends, is when I start getting crazy. I'm gonna start getting a little crazy, but I know you've come to expect that from me, so I don't fucking care. Let me just get this out of the way. Uncharted 4, it's fucking gorgeous. I cannot get over how pretty, beautiful, stunning this game is. I can't convey through words that come from my brain out my mouth hole. Like, I can't do it. But I can give you an example of how it made me feel, if you can't tell already. I was playing Uncharted 4, and then I was finally given access to roam about a certain location. And I just kind of panned the camera around to get like my bearings. But in doing so, I saw the visual, I saw the beauteous, I don't know if that's a word, just of the game, and it made me cry. Like, I teared up, and then I just kind of shed a few tears because it was very moving to see how the plants swayed, to see how the sun reflected off of everything, to see all the greenery, and it was just so, have I said moving? Because it was very moving, and top that off with all of the details, and oh god, the details. Let's go into the, let's talk about the details. So when I play games, I tend to obsess over the details. I cannot help it. It's just the way I've always been. I'm talking like, do I leave footprints when I'm walking? Do I leave them in snow? Do I leave them in sand? Do I leave them in mud, dirt? How does the water texture look? How does the fire look? When my character is talking, do their facial animations match up with what they're actually saying and trying to convey? So knowing all these tendencies and knowing how obsessive I am about them, I don't want to be this obsessive, but I just am. I can just tell you right now that Uncharted 4 was like the perfect wet dream. Are wet dreams considered good or bad? I don't even know, but it's a good thing. Here are just a few examples of some of the details that just kind of like stuck with me. The first one is that while I was playing, I was in a certain room, and in this room were a bunch of beds. Okay, no big deal. But I decided to walk on these beds because why not? And as you know, you would kind of expect, the bed made a really awesome like creaking sound. It sounded just like it would sound like if someone were to step on a bed. Not really a big deal, but I continued to like walk on the beds, and I discovered that there were like 3 or 4 distinct bed creaking sounds. That might not sound like a big deal, but the fact that Naughty Dog at some point recorded someone stepping and walking on a bed and recorded 4 different sound bites and incorporated it into like this one part of the game where you can walk on a bed. Little attention to detail like that, just kind of like... The other thing that happened was that I was in a huge area, and I noticed that the game seemed to have gotten darker. And without even thinking, I kind of looked up to the sky in the game, obviously, and the sun was behind a cloud. And that is why it had gotten darker, is because a cloud had moved in front of the sun and darkened my game. And then sure as shit, maybe 15 seconds later, you know, the sun was out from the cloud and it was bright again. Just little things like that. And the way you leave footprints, and you can slide down rocky paths, and when you do, you get like a mini avalanche of rocks that fall behind you, and the sound it makes. And oh god, the sound it makes. I just have to veer off course for a second and just praise the sound that is in Uncharted 4. Now usually I'm not one who like gets off on the sounds of things. I'm more of a graphical detail-y kind of person. But the sound in Uncharted 4 is just like sex to your ears. Not only, you know, the music and all that kind of stuff, but the sound of nature, you know, of rocks falling, of water dripping, background noises when you're in a town, birds chirping, the wind blowing, just all of it is just so spot on. It's just fucking incredible. Not to mention the voice actors that brought these characters to life. I just, not worthy, man. I'm not worthy. In short, these environments are fucking alive. When you combine the attention to detail and the amazing sound and just how open these levels are compared to other games, nothing feels half-assed. Whether you're in a bustling town or snow-capped mountains or a jungle, everything feels like it just got 100% of Naughty Dog's attention. In fact, these environments are so alive that I literally watched a group of guys paint a wall in Uncharted 4 for like 3 minutes. Like, I just watched these NPCs paint a fucking wall because I was so entranced. I was so like enamored by their movements and what they were doing. I wanted to know their story, and that's kind of another thing, is that you don't feel like these levels revolve around you. Like, you just feel like you're just put in the middle of them, and this is the way it is, and this is the way life's going on. No one cares about you. It's not like other levels in other games, not just Uncharted games, but in other games in general, where you can tell that the level was built around your character proceeding through the story. Not at all. You don't get that at all. And it's so amazing. It's so amazing. And again, because of the insane attention to detail, whether it's regarding sound, graphics, or just how alive everything feels, Uncharted 4 is the most immersive game I've ever played. Ever. It's really funny. So, you know how like typically when you play a video game, right, your character has a goal of some sort, and you to an extent share that goal with that character. It's like, oh man, Mario, like I hope we really find the princess, but it's very rare that you share that goal with that character with that same amount of passion, right? It's not like you're thinking, Mario, motherfucker, I hope we rescue that princess. I feel so sorry for you, and I feel so sorry for her because you guys are separated against your will, and I am just so excited to find her and free her, and oh man, we're gonna do this together. You know what I mean? Like, you never really shared that kind of passion. The same passion as the character you're controlling, right? But with Uncharted 4, holy crap, I mean, I was so immersed and so into this story, I sometimes felt like I was more excited than Nathan Drake was. I would figure out things before he would. Well, maybe like 10 seconds before he would, and then of course in a cutscene he would figure it out. But I would be like yelling at the screen like, Nate, look at that, oh my god, ah! And like he would discover something, like he would climb up a cliff and then look down and see something, and I would be like, oh, and he would be like, oh, and it was like we were sharing the same reaction. It was so trippy, you guys, and I played the game, I beat the game within 24 hours. Like, it took me about 15 to 16 hours to play, and that's because I just could not get enough of the story and the immersion, and I felt like I was right there, and I cared about what he was discovering and what he was finding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like his discoveries were my discoveries, and I felt like I was right there with him, like campaigning with him and helping him out, and it was really weird. Like, it's been a really long time since I've been that invested and felt that a part of a character's journey. It's just such a good game, and I've been wanting to talk about it so bad with so many different people, but you have to like keep everything to yourself because you don't want to spoil anything. But it's just, all of this is just finally me like releasing all of my volcanic emotions of feelings. What? I don't even know. All I know is I beat the game last Friday. It is now Monday. I'm recording my review, and this is the first that I've actually like openly talked about it, and it's just, it feels good. I feel like I've like purged my I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I hope you guys understand what I'm getting at. Thanks. So yeah, guys, when it comes to closing thoughts, I mean, I think I've probably accurately conveyed how I feel about the game in this 10 million minute video. But Uncharted 4, again, is just the best video game I've ever played. Not to be confused with my favorite video game, but it's the best game when it comes to polish, detail, immersion, voice acting, sound, just everything is just so pristine. It's just unbelievable, and I feel stupid just saying like, hey, you should probably play that game, because I mean, hi, it's kind of obvious, but just, it's just so good, you guys, and I can't wait for you to play it. I just can't wait for you to play it. And when you do, let me know, and so we can talk about things and just talk about things. Alright guys, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, let's talk Uncharted 4 after you play it, okay? Bye!